Welcome back to the Sneaking Into the Movies podcast. I'm Max Nathan.
And I'm Norman Davis. And Max, today I have a very simple question for you. Why does everything suck?
We're going to tackle that today and more. Sneak in with us and let's go.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
It's nice to be back.
Absolutely.
Sorry to our loyal listeners. It's been a little while. We've both been a little busy. But other than that, everything kind of sucks. Obviously, everything everywhere kind of sucks. Everything's really expensive. Everyone's killing everyone. It's getting real hot. It's November, man. Like, it's almost Thanksgiving and it's 85 degrees outside, bro. But we are not a political weather podcast. We are a movie podcast. And everything with movies sucks. And Max, we kind of talked about it a little bit. We want to say most of it here for you folks listening. It's a rough time in the industry right now. It's hard to push myself to go to the movies, Max. Have you been feeling this way?
I agree with you. I think there are still, I wouldn't say like everything sucks. There's still these little drops, little pebbles here and there. But generally speaking, the vibe is dour. More dour than I've ever seen it, if I'm being honest, I think. I can't really remember a time where we had so little to chew on as far as movies go. It was just a really rough October, I feel like. We didn't really get all that much. The great Tron Ares. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see that?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to because of the Nine Inch Nails score. But instead, I've just been listening to it. It's probably the most I've listened to a movie score in, honestly, maybe a couple of years. I don't think I will ever watch the movie, though. But yeah, even bleeding into November, we've already had some disappointments. And yeah, it's just like it feels like most movies that come out now. It's just like they're disappointing, they're good, but there's a big caveat. They're bad, but they were full of potential. All of this stuff, which is nothing new, obviously.
Let's tackle this. I want to ask you, like, why do you think that, for you personally, because I think this is a greater problem. I think many people are experiencing this. But why do you personally, like, feel like it's much harder for you to get up and go to the movies? Spend your money and do that as an activity.
The easy answer is what they're putting out. It's just a lot of, I don't know. I don't know. Every movie now just like feels so cheap. And film is a visual medium first. It was just visuals before they brought in audio. Before me and Max invented the podcast and recording your audio to talk. And that's one of the things for me. Like if I see a trailer and a movie just looks like crap, I like visually, I usually don't want to see it. So if a movie looks visually exceptional, I will go see it 9 out of 10 times.
I agree with that. I think like there's also some very specific things, even within movies I like, that are becoming trends that I am really not a fan of. For you personally, like, what is an example of a movie trailer or trailers that you've seen recently that really got you down about going to see a specific movie because of the visual aspect? Or maybe even something else. I don't know.
So it was definitely the visual aspect for me at first, but I was holding hope. But I've heard it's pretty bad, so I don't know if I'm going to go see it. Edgar Wright's The Running Man, a movie that I was hoping for. It's a cool premise. I don't think the original Arnold movie. Have you ever seen it?
I have not.
It's not the best movie in the world, but it's a neat time. Glenn Powell, Coleman Domingo, Josh Brolin, real star-studded cast. But I was just looking at that trailer and I'm like, man, it's got that gray. That gray.
You can leave it at that.
Gray. The gray. It started with Civil War. Now every movie does it. So yeah, that was a big one for me.
Disappointing.
I
I agree with you, and that's a movie that came out this past weekend. and both of us didn't see it. It's kind of we will probably both of us eventually see it. I'll probably see it.
At
I don't know
some
about
point,
you.
yeah, I love Edgar Wright and Glenn Powell enough to, I don't know, to drive 20 minutes and pay $15, but when it's on HBO or whatever, I got kicked off HBO, so I don't even got that anymore.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
But
I miss password sharing.
I mean, the streaming aspect of it is another thing as well. Like, you and I are very, we're about as anti-streaming as it gets. We're not like, we don't, I think both of us are fans of it as a concept, but very anti, like new movies premiering on streaming and that kind of thing. Movie like streaming becoming a replacement to the movie theater. We're very against that sort of thing. But even then, like you just said, you're kind of doing that thing where you're like, oh, I'll probably just have this for free at home in not that long. And if it's something that I don't really, 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 really want to go see. And I think what's interesting here is even in us like fanatics, the bar for really, 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 really wanting to see a movie, like to the point where it gets you to go out, is getting higher and higher and higher, it seems, even within us. Do you see that as a kind of thing that's happening?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just like back to the streaming argument, like an even better example, I will say, because the movie I was more excited for than The Running Man, I'm going to watch as soon as I can. Frankenstein. Del Toro is one of the best directors ever, period, in my book. I love every movie he's made.
Yes.
Even these last couple of years, I loved his Pinocchio. Nightmare Alley is one of the most slept on movies of the decade. But yeah, I just couldn't bring myself to the theater for whatever reason, and I just came to a point where it's going to be on Netflix next week.
Were you going to go to Austin to go see Frankenstein?
No, I even got it in Kyle.
Oh dang.
Yeah, and I don't know. Another thing for me is like, not to change topic too much. Audiences are so bad now, like so bad. We've talked about this. I feel like once a month on this show.
Yeah.
It just gets worse and worse, and it just feels like if you don't see a movie like Thursday night or like Friday night, like with the people who have
the true fans
been really wanting to see it, yeah, you're just gonna get like by Sunday, it is the peanut gallery in the theater, and it drives me nuts. It's everyone just looking for something to do. Like go outside and go to the park, and you can talk and get some sunlight.
Yeah, touch some grass.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I see that as a factor. But yeah, it's just kind of things are definitely shifting. It feels like COVID is clearly the thing that threw a wrench in all of this. Viewer habit, like consumer viewership habits changed. The way that these studios are moving changed. The prominence of these streamers got, they're way more prominent now than they even used to be. But yeah, no, with regard to Frankenstein specifically, I started watching it the other night. I was watching it with my mom and dad, and like, can I just say, like, it goes both ways. Like, we talked about the movie theaters kind of being in trouble and movies there being in trouble. Streaming we're seeing the same stuff happen over there too. And can I just say, I hate watching a movie for the first time on streaming. If it's an older movie that's kind of like, came out, it's not going to come back to theaters. Perfect. Like it's perfect for that. I don't want to watch something that's like supposed to be brand new coming out. Guillermo del Toro, legendary filmmaker, his latest movie. I'm not trying to watch that for the first time at my house where my mom and dad are going to pause it every 5 minutes. And it's just not. And if I don't want to judge the movie before I finish it because I haven't. Again, I got an hour in and then didn't finish it, and now I'm like, I don't really feel like going back because I wasn't really even liking it that much. So that's tough. I just wish that movies like that just went to theaters. it is in theaters, I guess, but again, you have these tricky relationships between streamers and movie theaters and studios. AMC Theaters, who I have a subscription to for AMC A-List, does not show Netflix movies because the CEO of AMC has beef with Netflix and the fact that they won't adhere to a 45-day theatrical window. That means putting movies in theaters for 45 days guaranteed, without taking them out and putting them on streaming, of course. So Netflix movies don't play in AMC theaters except for when K-pop Demon Hunters went back in on Halloween because they wanted some of that money because they got left out the first time. But that's a whole other thing. But anyways, how do you feel personally about like watching a movie on streaming for the first time? Does it bother you? Do you not feel any type of way about it? Like how do you feel about that?
I mean, it kind of just depends on like who I am watching it with, I guess. I don't know. Like one of the most fun times I've had watching a movie this year was probably Highest to Lowest, which I did watch on streaming, which I watched with all my friends.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the best movie. Obviously, we've kind of talked about that a little bit.
Yep.
And we just had a good time, kind of just being like, this is ridiculous, and laughing about the score and the way things are shot and the acting and everything. I don't know. I'm not as anti it as you, but I like to try and go see everything in theaters when I can. But I have no way. I don't have any AMC's near me. I don't have Regals. I only have Evos, and they don't really do a streaming thing. They do $5 Tuesdays.
Yeah,
which is when I try and catch most.
You mean like a subscription plan, like A-List, right?
Yeah. Which
okay.
I would hop on in a second if they put one in. I don't want to drive to Austin every time I want to go see a movie. I don't really like AMC's. Just straight up, I think a lot of them are just kind of bleh.
That is fair.
We don't really have them in San Antonio, so I didn't really start going to them until I started going in Austin. So when a movie, something like Frankenstein, which of all the reviews I read were very divisive, and even the higher ones were critiquing a lot of it. Mm-hmm. I don't have that like urge to really go rush and see it and pay $15 once or twice a week. So yeah, I don't totally mind watching streaming movies at home. I can usually do a pretty good job of like putting my phone away and whatever, not getting too distracted. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like if a movie's boring, I'm gonna check my phone.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, yeah, and that's the thing is like you mentioned the cost of it all, and when you say like $15 to get a ticket, like no one can really spend like $75 a weekend on movie, like like go see like every movie that comes out, and that's part of the reason why we're seeing the industry sort of flail around, is because nobody can go actually see these things. You can maybe pick one movie to go to every couple of months in a lot of cases, which sucks because this whole idea that we love, this whole thing called cinema, is supposed to be for everybody. It's not supposed to be this expensive. It never was back, when in the, in the birth of cinema. This was something that was easy for people to go to, not expensive. And
I'm a broke college kid, man.
Yeah, it's the opposite of that now. As far as activities go, it's quite expensive. Like it's about there's several other things I'm sure you could go do that are cheaper and probably a better value proposition for most people nowadays, as far as like taking your family out, going out with your friends, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, like you put that on top of how expensive literally everything is right now. Like my groceries are more expensive. There's always something wrong. I have the worst car look in the world. So there's always something wrong with my car, all this stuff. So yeah, like when I see like Die My Love comes out and people are either saying it's the best thing ever or the worst thing ever, and my girlfriend's not in town to go see it with me, like I'm not going to go rush to pay $15 and God forbid I want a soda, $25 to see something I'm probably not going to like. So I've become like the general consumer, I guess, I'm very selective. Like I went and saw Predator in theaters because I knew I would probably like that and I would benefit greatly from seeing on the big screen. And I did. I had a good time. I'm gonna go see Avatar 5 times, because like that's the way to watch that movie.
Of course.
But yeah, like things like The Running Man, or like I said with Frankenstein, or Die My Love, like these movies I'm excited for, made by people that I like. Like the Oscar-ish movie. Not that I don't think any of those are going to be in contention, but we'll talk about that another time.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to, I don't know, bring myself to go see all of them.
You mentioned also like the people that you like to go see. That's another thing that's sort of, we don't really know anymore how much of a draw anybody is, because the industry is not doing a very good job of propping up filmmakers, propping up movie stars, and platforming them. One thing that I thought was really, really interesting that has come up in the last couple of weeks is, so we both went to go see Predator Badlands, right? That is a, big IP action movie. The Predator, obviously. Can you think of another movie that was this big, or small, honestly, for that matter, that had a main character in it that was not a human, and there are no humans in it basically for 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes, and then there's a side character that's an android. There's no humans in the movie. There's only a couple of human faces that are actually in the movie. It's mostly CG. It is a, we love Dan Trachtenberg. We thought the movie was good. Can you think of another movie that's even like that?
No, I'd have to think about it, but that's one of the things I did, really appreciate and think it was cool. I saw it on a Tuesday afternoon, $5 Tuesday, with whoever else had nothing going on a Tuesday afternoon. And it was like a pretty decently full theater. And I just kept waiting for people to walk out, just because that's been such a thing, I mean, forever. But like really this year with a lot of movies like Eddington, I had a bunch of people walk out.
Yeah.
Last year, The Substance, Megalopolis, like weird movies. People typically walk out of. But yeah, no one walked out. I mean, like a made-up language with goofy-looking predators. Like they don't. I mean, they look cool, but they don't look like as cool as the Predator. With the mask and everything.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool. Like you said, there's not a single human face for like 30 or 40 minutes. It's Elle Fanning, who is definitely on the come up, but she's not a household name or nothing.
I think. Let me play devil's advocate here. I think that specific thing is indicative of what we're talking about with the industry not being able to prop people up. There's no star of the Predator. I mean, the Predator is played by a person, but in a mocap suit and whatnot, CG, all that stuff.
Practical.
The Predator is not like I think like Avatar is another movie I thought of when we started having this discussion, but that's Sam Worthington. And Zoe Saldana. You can see their faces in the characters. That's the kind of mocap they're doing.
But
the
Predator, in the same way as Predator, I love Sam Worthington. I fucking love those Avatar movies to death.
Yeah.
I've been talking about 3 all year, and we're gonna be talking about it a lot. No one goes to those movies to see, Sam Worthington. They go to see the avatars.
They go to see the spectacle.
Yeah, the spectacle.
The technology.
I mean, this all started with superhero movies, just straight up. I mean, like Chris Evans isn't the star. Captain America is. Same with Robert Downey is Iron Man, whatever.
Yep.
So yeah, but continue.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Predator doesn't really have, like those Avatar guys we were saying. You can kind of see the human face. The Predator is just like fangy bug man. Like there's no humanity under that really, or very little that you can see. And I just thought that was interesting. Like where do we go from there now that the main draw really, and also the Predator was very successful. It made a bunch of money, made 80 million opening weekend worldwide, I believe. Pretty successful result for Predator Badlands. again, that movie has no human face at the center of it.
Yeah.
Is that even a net positive industry wise if there's no human face at the center of it? Or like, because everything we're talking about with like, oh, there's no movie stars anymore, the industry fails to prop people up. Everything that's successful now is IP stuff, and even this stuff where there's not even a human at the center of it. And Disney has Mandalorian and Grogu coming out next year, which is more of the same stuff. You watch that trailer, there's like barely any dialogue. It's a guy who's in a mask the entire time. Pedro Pascal is probably barely even on set.
Unless he shows that face in his movie, he never stepped foot on that set. Just straight up. I mean, he hasn't put on that suit, I don't think, since like season 2.
Yeah. And at that point, it's basically a super over bloated, way too expensive animated movie.
A little bit.
Is that going to be able to sustain the industry as the main course? It doesn't. In animated movies, I love animated movies. And I'm not saying these two are the same thing, but we're trending in that direction where, and animated, like you look at Spider-Verse, that is animated beautifully. When you look at like Predator Badlands or Mandalorian and Grogu, like these things don't look the same. It's not really an animated movie. It's like a CG. They shoot some stuff and they kind of try to make it look as quote unquote real as they possibly can. And it just doesn't end up looking right. And you have no people at the center of it. It's not about people. It's about space aliens and superheroes and whatnot. And this is basically all people go see now. Is that sustainable? I'll just flip it over to you.
I mean, not really. Like I said, I think this has been a thing for a while, pretty much like since Marvel movies. Like obviously they're played by humans who are favorite actors, but like other than like Robert Downey Jr. and like Scarlett Johansson, like go look at all those other guys and see how all their other movies do outside of that. I don't mean that as a diss. I mean like my favorite movie of last year had Chris Hemsworth in it, giving what I thought was his best performance.
Yeah, Furiosa. Nobody saw it.
Yeah,
except for you and I.
Exactly. Yeah. No one was. Oh, it's Chris Hemsworth. Like I love him. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, he's back as Thor. I'll go see him as Thor. Not like I like Chris Hemsworth the actor. Like yeah, in the way that we're used to be. We're like it was Leonardo DiCaprio was the sell of the movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's sustainable. Like. For us, or movies like Begonio, which are really good, which like don't make money, even though they have. It's like one of the follow-ups from an Academy Award winner, Emma Stone, and like just some of the best actors working right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I don't want to say it is sustainable, but I don't really think it's not either. I think it's just. I don't know. Like you just got to make it for. Cheaper, I guess, but even like with Predator, I don't even think that movie's budget was like more than 120 million, right?
It couldn't have been because there's barely any actors in the fucking movie.
That might just be the solution. I mean, like I don't think we know the exact number yet, but I don't think it'd be crazy to say that The Mandalorian is probably going to be the cheapest Star Wars movie ever made, other than the ones in the 70s and 80s.
I mean, it should be. It's a movie based off of a fucking TV show. Like
yeah, and like who's famous in that?
Sigourney Weaver, end of list probably.
Sigourney Weaver, and then like you have the voice actors Pedro Pascal and Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And also another thing to add as well. I remember we were talking, at the beginning of the summer, like, wow, look at all these, look at Pedro Pascal, look at all these. He had 3 movies. He was Eddington, Fantastic Four. And third thing, Materialists. All of those movies flopped.
Materialists made a lot of money.
Did it?
It's like the 3rd highest grosser for A24 ever.
Oh yeah. Materialists did okay. Materialists did.
But I get what you mean. I get where you're coming from.
Basically, what I'm getting at is that was kind of his movie star bid. That little three movie runway there. And I don't think it did him any favors. Coming out of Fantastic Four with like, you know, everybody kind of recognizing that it was a bomb, didn't make much money. Although I will say about Fantastic Four, I wasn't a huge fan. Everybody I talked to about that movie is very, very positive about it. Not just like in a like, oh, like it was cool to go to the movies and see the fun Marvel movie. Like most of the people I talked to like really, really liked that movie and had a good time.
That's because it's good, but I digress.
Yeah, I mean, but it didn't make much money, so who knows what happens with the future of the Fantastic Four? Who knows what happens with Pedro Pascal within the Marvel stuff? And then we had Eddington as well, which, you know, didn't really have much of it.
That was a million other. I mean, that was like Ari Aster. That was Joaquin Phoenix coming off of Joker 2.
Mm-hmm. It didn't have much of a chance, but I'm just saying we were looking at that 3-movie runway as like wow, Pedro Pascal is really maybe a movie star right now. And we come out of that and we're like, no, not really.
This is my hot take.
Yeah.
There is one movie star.
Who is he? I probably know who he is, but who is he?
Michael B. Jordan.
Really? Okay, so we're
the only guy right now who can sell a movie past $200 million on him.
Okay, so we obviously had Sinners this year, and Sinners, I think you could say is a star vehicle for Michael B. Jordan, obviously, but there's Ryan Coogler. There's a little more going on there. What else are you referring to? Like where else are we going with this?
The Creed movies, less 1,
yes.
but more 2 and 3.
Yes, 3, which he directed as well and was successful.
Which like they all made money. You know what I mean? Like obviously you can say 1 was because of Rocky, but like they are completely removed from Rocky by the third one.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone was even in the second one? I haven't seen the second
He was in the second one. He was not in the third one.
Oh, he got sick in the second one, right? Or was that the first one?
That was the first one.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. But yeah, like I think with Sinners, that was a star vehicle. And I think I know he's directing another movie right now. Have you seen those Miami Vice rumors? He's doing that.
And the Thomas Crown Affair for Amazon MGM.
Yeah. But I guess like we'll have to see in a couple of years. But my main point is like there really aren't movies like people have been talking about this forever, but there just really aren't. Like Glenn Powell can't sell a movie. Austin Butler can't really sell a movie.
You know what I think is a pivotal moment?
Marty Supreme?
No, it's gonna sound stupid.
Okay.
It's a movie that comes out that day. Anaconda. Okay?
Ooh.
So we had Jack Black was in the Super Mario Brothers movie and the Minecraft movie. 2 huge IP movies, but he is very much at the center of the marketing of both of those movies.
Of them.
And he drives a lot of, meme stuff on the internet, and he is a huge part of these kinds of movies. Anaconda, a little bit more of an adult movie. I mean, those movies, Mario and
it's rated
Minecraft.
R.
Yeah, Mario, Minecraft for little kids. Anaconda, different demographic. And before that, Jack Black was in the Jumanji movies with The Rock, and there's a little more going on there as well. But if Anaconda does really well, Jack Black is definitely one of our legit movie stars. As kind of funny as it sounds, he's one of these guys that's opening movies.
And he's also been around forever.
Yeah.
And like he's still even like another example is like Kung Fu Panda 4. That movie did way better than I think anyone thought it was going to.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it?
I did not.
Okay, well I heard it was really bad.
Yeah.
But like that did well. So that's interesting. I haven't really thought about Jack Black. I think Anaconda will be a hard sell. A, because it looks terrible.
Yeah.
And B, because it's rated R.
Also kind of IP anyway. It's a different demographic, but it's based on the movie Anaconda in a way. But
I just think the reason for like no movie stars is like we just like live in like this fast food culture anyways. Like obviously with like TikTok and Reels and YouTube Shorts, like it's all about literally your brain's gonna click onto this for 10 seconds, you're gonna laugh and look at the next thing. With something like I said, like Glenn Powell, where he had a crazy year last year with Anyone But You, that was the Sydney Sweeney one, and Twisters. And then, it doesn't really do anything for a year, and then it comes back with Chad Powers and The Running Man, and no one shows up for either of them. So I don't know about Chad Powers, but I know
Chad Powers is a Hulu show, so it's different. It's who knows what's going on with streaming shows.
But yeah, like I think it's just so hard for people to really like just be grabbed onto the culture for long enough to not fall off. I don't know. That was a bad analogy, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you mean. I just think that I've said this before. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but there's just so much more access to celebrities in general nowadays in a way that there wasn't, when, in the 80s or 90s or even before that, you would tune into the Oscars to see all of these people in the same room at the same time. And that was kind of the TV watching that program was your gateway to this magical world of Hollywood. Now with social media and all of this stuff and it's brought down the walls significantly. We can see into Hollywood a lot better than we could. We can see a lot better into everybody's lives now. And that has basically, in my opinion, taken a lot of that shine of this mystical, magical world of Hollywood off. Like it's just not there anymore. That golden sheen is no longer there, and
because they're all real people, we know that for sure now.
Yeah,
they're all very good looking, but at the end of the day, there's just so much many more interviews and podcasts and like press for movies that like the mystique on a lot of these people. I mean,
people develop parasocial relationships with these people. Even like it's possible to do that. There's so much access to them that it's you can do that if you so choose. So that's another wrinkle in this. Like you had to go pay for a ticket to see Titanic, to see Leonardo DiCaprio. Now you can just look up an infinite amount of Leonardo DiCaprio, just whenever, and you can look up like there's 1,000. Like you just want to see like hot people on TikTok. Like you can just go do that now. Like you don't have to go pay for a movie ticket to do that.
You do that a lot.
What?
So you do that a lot.
Yeah, doing that a lot. But yeah, no, I just think like the walls have just come down significantly, and I don't know if we get back to a point where stars are opening movies and filmmakers are don't get me wrong, like filmmakers are still really important. Like Ryan Coogler making Sinners is like a huge deal. Like it just is. Like that was a huge story this year. And he is extremely respected in circles that are not just movie circles. Like
my grandpa watched Sinners on HBO, and I didn't believe him. I made him explain the entire movie to me because I didn't like. My dad and I were like, "What were the main characters' name?" What happened? Because I was like, "No way he watched it." But like it just reached such a bigger crowd.
Yeah, I think Christopher Nolan is another guy like that. I think there's very few. Greta Gerwig,
the guy for that.
Yeah, Greta Gerwig I think is part of that as well. Jordan Peele. There's several filmmakers now that are still kind of like part of the zeitgeist. Is it sustainable? Does it expand? That's the question. And how will it look going forward? Because I don't think we are getting back to the point where it used to be, where these people were just kind of like, I don't know, like idolized, I guess.
Yeah, they were like not people.
Yeah, they're like not even
the best way to put it.
Real people. Yeah. I don't think we'll ever get back to that point, but the question is, can we get to a point where a lot of this stuff is more respected than it is now in a different way? And how would we get there?
You know what? Let's take our break here, and I'll answer your question.
Okay. We're back, and we're solving movies right now. We're going to fix it all by the end of this podcast.
You're
The
welcome.
entertainment industry is going to be just fine. Everything sucks now. But by the end of this podcast, we're going to solve it. And Norman, the question I asked you before we got off break was how, given that the, the mystique of Hollywood is not going to really be something that drives people to go to the movies going forward, what can be something that gets people out to the movies more consistently?
I mean, I hate to be a nihilist, but it's just kind of like IP slop. I mean, that seems to be all that really brings people in on like large worldwide scale.
That's the answer that the studios have to this point.
Yeah.
With most of the movies that make money now being, Wicked, Predator, Avatar, that kind of stuff. I don't know. Like, I think that, the IP stuff is stuff that brings people out clearly, but I think there's diminishing returns there, especially with the new kind of stuff we're talking about where there's basically no human faces at the center of some of these movies. I think that that's the kind of thing that might be kind of cool a couple of times, but if that's something that's going to become a major thing, I don't think that's sustainable. Because I think at the end of the day, this is an art form that's dedicated to telling the stories of people. And that's not exactly, we're looking at, the Predator obviously has like some, it's a human story. It feels like something, he's overcoming, his own
Relationship with his family,
relationship with his father and his culture, basically, and kind of stepping outside of that, finding a family outside of that, and overcoming it all. It's a human story. There's just not a human face at the center of it. Now, I think that a lot of these issues you can trace back to, what's going on with the government, what's going on with the economy, all these big picture things. And that is true. And, for a lot of this movie stuff to get good, the stuff up there needs to get better as well. And who knows what's going to happen with that. We might be the Saudi Arabian states of America before the movie industry is fixed. So who knows there? I do think that doubling down on, and Marty Supreme is going to be a pretty big test of this. I think doubling down on really propulsive movies that are about like people in exciting situations is not something you like. It sounds like so simple when I say that. It sounds almost dumb coming out of my mouth. But we don't get a ton of that. We really don't.
We get a good amount of it.
Name some stuff that I'm talking, because I'm talking about like Marty Supreme is a story about a guy who is a ping pong player who has this giant dream to kind of I don't even know what's going on in that movie, but it's a bad example because that movie's coming out. Uncut Gems I can think of. That's a movie about a guy who is just addicted to the thrill, and he's trying to get his money
That
right
movie's
and
too. You know what the answer is
Yeah.
to your question? I've been thinking about it. It's the audience. Just in general, people are so stupid. I'm no Einstein, but people, especially with like the movies and shows and games and just like everything that they consume, like it's just like this, like I said, like everything's just like fast food now. Like, don't think, just like let it be a distraction. People don't want to challenge themselves. Something like Uncut Gems, which I think is one of the best movies ever made. I know you do too.
Yeah.
That movie like didn't do great, like didn't have a great cinema score. It's just like a lot.
Did
People
okay.
don't want to be stressed. It did fine, but like you know what I mean.
I just think like because if we're gonna say I'm gonna be devil's advocate. I'm gonna choose to be optimistic about this because if I think that people are just too far gone, they're just not interested in that kind of thing, in this kind of thing, then there's no point in doing any of it, which I don't think is true yet. I mean, maybe we'll get there one day. I don't really think that's true right now. I think that there's just a way overemphasis on stories that are not about people in the real world at a time when the real world is fucking crazy and interesting.
I
And
disagree though. I think we're really starting to see that like something like Eddington is so much about, you know, I mean like that's the most we talk about this the most real world movie about being in the real world like ever. Not literally, but in our lives, you know, and one battle after another, which like is making pretty good money. That movie had a crazy budget that it was never going to return, but that's okay because Minecraft made $1 billion. But that is like such a movie about, you know, real people. It's a movie about a father trying to get his daughter back, which is like tale as old as time, you know, and especially in movies. There's so many movies like that. The Taken movies.
but I don't think we get like even you think of it like I'm thinking of a movie like Collateral. Like when was the last time we got a movie that was even like that in concept? I can't even think of it. It's not even a thing anymore. And that's an action thriller, and it's about, you know, it's this crazy movie, and it's awesome, and it's propulsive, and it's got people in it.
Because why give someone $100 million to make an original action movie when you can have the Predator in it and guarantee that more people go see it because it's an action movie with the Predator?
That's how studios think.
Exactly.
And that's why I think the movie industry is dying, though. I think that is you know, you can say like, oh, it's keeping the thing going. Like it's this is how business is done. We have to have these movies that make a gajillion dollars so that we can make things like Sinners. I would argue that logic is also killing the movie industry because, like you said, take any original action script here, and it's like, okay, like whenever studios get that script, that awesome this 2025 Collateral right here I have, how can we put the Predator in this? And then it all there's ways to make good movies like that, and I don't doubt that, like, you know, there's good IP based films that come out. That there's a lot of them because they make a lot of them. But I would argue that taking a shit on this original script by saying, hey, let's put the Predator in it, which is it's fine, it's a fine thing, but like you just killed that idea in a sense. You made it something completely different, and filmmaker, the talent I think is still there. There's great talent in a lot of different places. Like Dan Trachtenberg is like 3 for 3 on these freaking Predator movies. He made 10 Cloverfield Lane. He's made a lot of good movies. But you see what I'm getting at here? Like why are we doing it? Like there has to be diminishing returns here.
I agree with you on all this, by the way. Like I'm not saying like this is what I do or like I don't want to see an act. I'd rather not rather, but I don't know. I don't know. I really just think it comes down to people. Because like what all these original movies that we're missing, they all go to streaming now, and they all have way smaller budgets. You put all those movies in theaters, people aren't gonna go to theaters to see them. They're just gonna wait to watch them on streaming. Like it's just like a snake eating its own tail. Like we're just kind of stuck in this loop until it supposedly just like combusts.
Also, the fault of the studios during COVID, though, they trained people to do that. Like,
no, I agree. I don't know.
Movies.
There's no way to train people to go back. Is what I'm saying. Like at all, unless you make tickets $5 and you make everything else in their life cheaper. Because I mean, like the family of five, or people like going on a date, like need to buy groceries, or they need to, if I'm a young couple and I just moved in my first place, and it's date night, like dinner's gonna be $80. Do I want to spend another 40 on the tickets plus the 60 on concessions for the both of us, or we go to that nice dinner and then we come back on watch Knives Out on Netflix or whatever? I just think it's so many like more things, especially just like right now, like this year has just sucked. I mean, it's because of Donald Trump and all that. We know this, but like everything's just like expensive and exhausting, and everyone's scared to go out in public because like you get shot if you know.
Sure.
So I don't know. I really like. I don't know. I try not to be a nihilist, but I don't really know what these movies just need to bomb hard for studio. Like, if next year Spider-Man, Moana, and Avengers all make like no money, like then that's when they're like, okay, we got to really change something. But I don't know. Like we just like go in this circle of talks of like, theaters are dying, people aren't going to see movies, and then like, like the live action Moana, which looks horrendous and is like one of the most pointless movies ever made.
Really bad.
Comes out next year. Or even like Toy Story 5, which like
we didn't. That's right. We didn't even talk about that. What'd you think of that teaser?
I'm gonna be honest. I quite enjoyed Toy Story 4.
Okay, I did too.
Until they make a bad one,
you're in.
I'm in. Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I'm part of the problem. But what's my boycott gonna do? I get cool original animated movies every now and then. I mean, you had like K-pop Demon Hunters this year. Like that was an original movie. I mean, it still is, but obviously it's in Fortnite now, and there's a sequel now, and all the toys, blah blah blah. I think these big movies need to, like, people are like, I don't want to see an Avengers movie. It's bad. Just like, what if Doomsday comes out and it's not very good? It's still gonna make $1 billion.
I don't know that that's true.
I guess we'll have to see.
That's going to be another test. We're really in an interesting pivot point here for the movie industry in general. Like, is that Avengers movie going to be successful?
That's kind of the big, yeah.
Are movie stars real? Is Timothée Chalamet going to be able to carry Marty Supreme to a $200 million gross or around there? Is it going to happen? I think it might, but we'll see. I hope it does, because honestly, a lot rides on it. There's just a lot going on right now.
I think like it'll be interesting, having this conversation a year from now, where like we've had Doomsday and we see not to go off topic, but since you brought up Marty Supreme,
sure.
Even A24, they're trying to make bigger movies. Obviously, Civil War was a movie they put a lot of money in that paid off. They tried with the Smashing Machine. Marty Supreme has a big budget, but they're going for IP now too.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, they have Death Stranding in the works. They have Elden Ring. They just got the rights to Friday the 13th. So I think we're a couple years off from all this either going really well or exploding in everyone's faces.
And even if it does, there is room for growth even in the exploding in everyone's faces scenario. I don't know what that would look like, but there's this stuff, this art form, this practice is not just gonna go away. Like, there's always gonna be independent filmmakers. There's gonna be people doing
1,000%.
this. The question is, are we going to end up in a more productive spot when we can rebuild this sort of thing after that kind of if there is some kind of like blow it up scenario? I don't know. Again, I don't know what that looks like. But just thinking about it in terms of like another sentiment that's been kind of like, going around for a while now is like, oh, now everybody has, one of these things. It's like, oh, everybody has a camera, like a cinema camera in their or like not a cinema camera, but everybody has a camera in their pocket. Everybody is like a walking filmmaker now, and like that's a whole thing. There's just going to be a lot more movies, a lot more interesting stories out, and I got to tell you, I haven't really seen that come to fruition. There's just a lot. There's different stuff. There's like some kind of like interesting YouTube stuff. We got that. There's the Backrooms. The Backrooms YouTube thing is being made into a movie by A24. I don't know how that's going to go specifically, but just talking about the YouTube stuff, there's that. There's a bunch of other different things that kind of came out on YouTube over the course of us growing up, basically.
I gotta give it, by the way. I gotta hand it. I don't like those movies. I haven't seen them. I watched the first one and it was bad. Like the Terrifier movies. That's a good example. The last couple of years, those were independent movies, and that last one made like $100 million.
They're one of the it's one of the most profitable franchises, I believe. Which is crazy. It's also another thing that is cool. I haven't seen those movies. I don't know if I like them or not. I know they have a passionate following. I know people do like them and go see them. That's the kind of thing that I think we've been promised by people. People have been saying like, oh, there's so much more access to this stuff. People are just going to be doing this all the time now. It's going to be so much easier. We're going to get so much more stuff. Kinda, not really. It's different. I mean, people are making stuff on TikTok. People are making stuff on YouTube. People are, it's different kinds of mediums. As far as this digital age translating to more movies in cinemas and on streaming, that's not really a thing yet.
I'm going to be honest, like, not to be even more nihilist, I don't think that'll ever be a thing.
Okay, why?
I mean, because you can just watch YouTube or you can just watch TikTok. Like, people don't, I would love to see a poll of specifically Gen Z and how many people regularly watch movies. Because, I mean, like, if you grew up in the 90s, you had to watch TV or you had to watch a movie. There wasn't YouTube. There was, like, the bones of the internet, but you couldn't just go on there and, like, I don't know, watch someone play a game, watch someone talk about your favorite game, watch a drama thing, watch someone go to the mall and buy makeup. I think that's a big part of it. Like, people just grew up watching at the most 10-minute videos, but more like 30-second videos, to where they can't sit down and watch a movie at home. Why would they want to go sit in the theater and watch a movie?
So in that sense, there are more stories. Those are not movies though, by any means.
Yeah.
There, so. the going to the mall and buying makeup thing is in and of itself a story that you are watching unfold, not a movie. Very obviously very different thing.
Or even like instead of watching a documentary on the BBC or whatever, you can just watch a YouTube video about the making of Zelda Ocarina of Time or something. You know what I mean?
Sure. I think though that there is possibility for that stuff to translate into the cinemas and streaming realm though. I just don't think it's like it's surprisingly completely untapped potential. I don't really understand why. I don't know why we haven't had any kind of breakout. We had Sean Baker's Tangerine. That's one that he filmed on like iPhone 4s. I'd imagine that was a very small crew. Very, very, very indie movie. That's one example that I can think of that comes to my mind, but that's also a little different. They just, they film that on iPhones. It's kind of taking advantage of the modern kind of like contemporary way we see images and videos. I wonder if that's going to be something that we see more of, because like we're talking about this, as an economic problem, and it is. It's hard for people to go see movies. It's hard for people to make movies as well. That's the other part of it. We get less movies because, one, they're harder to make, and two, they're harder for people to go see. It's just harder across the board. This stuff is a lot, it's different from the tools of the past. It's different from, having gazillion-dollar set where there's a zillion people. You got crafty, you got makeup, you got all you got people for everything.
Talk to Me guys are a great example.
Sure, yeah, they came from YouTube and they started making movies, but even then, those guys are making movies in a more traditional sense. I'm looking for is there some merging of the two that we haven't seen yet that could translate to a revitalization of the movie industry as a whole by slipping some of this, like finding an interesting way for these contemporary tools to slip into the things like the stuff behind me, making it so that more people can make movies become cheaper, movies become more real about real people. I think it's untapped potential. I think it's possible. I believe in it. Optimistic take, I know. And it also hinges on talent and people being able to make the stuff. I think it is untapped potential. Like it's right there, I feel like.
I think so too, but it's just so, I don't know. I don't think there's like, I just think like priorities as a whole has shifted to where like it used to be everyone who wanted to pick up a camera wanted to make movies. Mm-hmm. Now most people pick up cameras. They don't necessarily want to make movies. They want to make YouTube videos. They want to stream video games or just stream themselves doing whatever. I just think like entertainment as a whole has changed.
It has.
I don't know. Like I like your idea, but I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, like if you want to make a movie with an iPhone and get it in theaters, like you got to be like 28 years later. You need a $5,000 or $20,000 lens attached to it. You know what I mean?
That is an example of kind of what I'm talking about on a large scale. I'm more talking about like, not studio, independent, much smaller, much lower key. Mm-hmm. They obviously have a shitload of people on set, and that's a very expensive movie.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. We'll see.
I think it's too, but I think we're a long way from that. Or like one person just really, really, because obviously like Sean Baker, that worked out for him. He won an Oscar, but for, I don't know, just one person needs to just destroy the internet with it. You know what I mean? Like if someone needs to make a movie with the iPhone and people got to talk about it like Sinners or K-pop Demon Hunters or that's when everyone's like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. Let me do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and not even necessarily that you would have to film it on an iPhone. It would just be something that's just a much smaller, just a revitalization of like independent cinema and making that more of a focus, I guess, is kind of like what I'm getting at. And iPhones are kind of a possible way into that.
I hate to say it, I think like streaming is the best bet for that right now. I mean, I think a lot of independent stuff gets watched at home. I don't know.
If that's the case,
how we get that back in theaters.
If that's the case, then sure. But my thing is like there's not like a ton of that on streaming either. But the other thing I wanted to say, because you said entertainment is changing, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think it's leaning more interactive now. And I think theaters are a little bit afraid of that, and they've done different things in the past to kind of combat that. We had that, that Megan screening a while back where you could play on your phone and kind of like, interact with like second screen the movie in a way. They do that on Blu-rays. They kind of have like that sort of thing where you can like look up special features and that kind of thing. It's not something that's never been done before, but it's just never been put in theaters and platformed like that. And theaters have been trying to do that. But generally speaking, I feel like, like you said, streaming, social media, YouTube, TikTok, video games, virtual or augmented reality. Although that's I think even that was a ways off, a
That's
while
decades
ago.
away from being
Yeah.
a thing everyone
It's
uses, a la like Wally or something.
Yeah. Who knows if that even catches on, because it's so, even now it's pretty inaccessible and not really robust, I guess. Um
No, like who
who
wants to sit at their desk with a big thing on their helmet, like
not even
like an
not
asshole?
even not even talking about like Vision Pro, like Apple Vision Pro. I'm talking about like MetaQuest or PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
Like can you think of any, as a video game guy, how have you ever been tempted to buy a PlayStation VR or a MetaQuest or whatever because of a game? And if so, what was that and why?
Yes.
Okay.
When they made Batman Arkham games on VR, I was like,
Okay.
fuck.
Yeah.
But they're too expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, like a PSVR 2 costs more than a PS5, and you need a PS5 to use it. So that's
Yeah.
when you think about it that way, it's like $1,200 for a PSVR 2 before you even think about buying the games.
And the games, like I said, the lineup is not robust. It's not like there's like a zillion games for VR that you can just play. It's like there's
It's
a
just like
few.
novelty.
Yeah, there's a few that you might be into, but it's not something where like there's going to be a great new VR game every couple months. Like it's just not really a thing right now, but it's something that I think there's a lot of very rich people that would like it to be a thing. So maybe it will be a thing one day. But that's with the movie theater as well. Other ways they try to make it more interactive is we have the surge of premium large format, like that being so relevant right now as far as a way to drive people to the movies. IMAX sort of being this experience that kind of like wraps the screen around your entire periphery, or that's what it's designed to do. Things like there's more. I feel like there's more 4DX
That
theaters
also
now.
kills independent movies too, because that is like, I'm only going to go see movies in IMAX. Like next year, I'm only going to see The Odyssey, which is not it's based off a story, but I wouldn't really call it IP in the same sense as like Batman or something. But like I love the emphasis on like the premium formatting. Like that's why movies like Sinners made so much money. That's why like One Battle After Another, I think a big part of that box office was that movie in IMAX. I mean, VistaVision too, but like there's, what are there, 4 VistaVision? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
So I don't know. It's just like I love, like I don't know. I'm kind of rambling here, but you know what I mean? Like that like incentivizes, movies are for the biggest fucking movies ever. Avatar,
Yeah.
Avengers. Watch Begonia at home.
Exactly. It leaves out the smaller stuff.
Why would you go see that in a theater? And like we saw this year, like other movies tried experimenting with putting movies in IMAX. They didn't, like something like Companion. I wouldn't call that an IMAX movie by any stretch of the imagination, or something you had to see in IMAX. Was Weapons in IMAX?
Yes, and it didn't really have expanded aspect ratio stuff.
Yeah.
But again, like I saw Predator in Dolby because I heard that there wasn't any full expanded ratio IMAX stuff in there. Did you see it in IMAX?
No, I saw it in standard.
Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that movie was advertised as an experience it in IMAX thing that didn't really take it full advantage. It wasn't really an IMAX movie. It was like a movie they put in IMAX to sell tickets, basically. Which is fine. That's, if you want to see it in IMAX, you should. I think that's a fine option. But yeah, I don't know. I think that, like we said, it's getting more interactive. There should be some kind of, I think there needs to be some kind of like independent movement that happens. I don't know what that looks like, but we need that desperately, because I don't want to go down the road where, and even though, like, again, we liked Predator, we love Dan Trachtenberg, I don't want like 10 movies a year that come out where there's no guy in the movie. And again, there's a guy that's playing the Predator, but he looks like the Predator. It's not a human face. It's not Earth.
Max,
So
this feels like a good segue for me, this whole 10 movie talk.
yeah,
'Cause I have bad news, buddy. In about a couple of years, it's going to be 6 movies. Because Warner Brothers is being bought out.
yeah,
And that is a very bad thing. There's a couple options for them. No matter what, it sucks. No matter what, it's going to lead to thousands of jobs and less movies. Just at the end of the day, that's just how it is. That's
Yep.
when Disney bought Fox. That leaves what? 3, 4 big
yeah.
studios?
There's just less major studios.
Just
after
less
that.
major studios. Because, I mean, either Paramount's going to buy them, which seems like worst case scenario, because of the Ellisons. Look them up.
Yeah,
Or Universal. And yeah, they're just going to eat this studio up, which is super lame. Warner Brothers, I mean, mostly IP stuff, which we've been complaining about, but had an exceptional year. This totally won this year at the
Yeah.
box office for the first time.
doing it with with
Bush
IP
administration.
stuff, but also great originals like Weapons, Sinners, One Battle After Another. That was all them. And you could make a case that those are like the 3 best movies of the year.
Yeah, they're up there.
So, it just sucks that they're gonna get ultimately bought out by seemingly people who have ulterior motives. Like in a lot of these cases with these mergers and things like that, they're not. The priority is not the advancement of cinema and all this stuff. It's making a lot of money, but in this case, the people that are buying it are. Look them up, like Norman said.
The Ellisons. I mean, I think it came down to either. I read a Variety article came out today. It's like Paramount with the help of Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Yikes. Uber yikes. I'll just say it. 10 yikes.
Yeah.
In chat, boys. Netflix. I think I could throw 2 or 3 yikes there. And Universal.
Yeah.
Also, yikes. Well, it seems like best case scenario, Universal.
Universal's
also
definitely best case scenario in my opinion, because at least their priority is like making movies that are
more than
successful.
Netflix or the Ellisons and the Saudi royal family.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Netflix is obviously, their main goal is the advancement of the Netflix platform and streaming service and website. Not exactly great for movies on the whole. They do some good stuff for movies, but
Can you imagine a Justice League movie you have to watch at home?
Yeah, it sucks.
Or it's in theaters for a week?
Yeah. The Paramount thing is potentially really troublesome. Like you outlined, the Saudi Arabia Qatar thing. I don't even again look it up.
2 words, bonesaw journalist.
Yeah. Tough. Yeah, we'll
It's
see.
bleak.
Superman, Man of Tomorrow, Truth, Justice, and the Saudi Arabian Way, baby. Let's go. This is not great across the board. You're either going to get...
Sorry, go ahead.
You're either going to get, the Saudi Arabian Justice League, the Superman at Home, or things stay relatively similar.
But we
Those
get
are
less.
basically the 3 options.
Yeah. And no matter what option it is, it just leads to less movies in general, not just IP stuff, but it's...
Yeah.
I mean, the IP stuff is safe no matter what, in a way. It might turn out bad, but there's... Whoever buys Warner Brothers is gonna make another Batman movie. They're gonna make another Superman movie. But yeah, like Weapons, one battle after another, Sinners. Like those were hard deals to make happen. I mean, Ryan Coogler shopped around Sinners a ton before going to Warner Brothers, and everyone else was like, "No, this is too much money and what you're asking for." I don't know. I'm not pretending Warner Brothers is amazing. I mean, they suck too, just straight up. That Batgirl shit is one of the worst things I've ever seen happen with a movie ever.
And then potentially with the Coyote versus
Yeah,
Acme
I
thing
mean,
as
that
well,
got-
but
that
that
got-
yeah.
bought out, but yeah, it's sad. I mean, like I was looking at something the other day, and it was just like in 2018, it was like Fox released like 60, 70 movies, and then now they release like 12 to 15 a year ish.
Yeah, because what happens with these mergers is it's not like they, Disney buys Fox and Disney and Fox stay the same. It's like, no, Fox gets folded into Disney. Like there's no, and when I say folded, it doesn't mean everything that's here comes over here. It means this goes the fuck away. And
It's
you just have these people making movies, and they're trying to compensate for these guys being absent, and they make what they make, but there's just less manpower, there's less people, less movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, let's lay out 4,000 people. Obviously we're going to make another Avatar. We're going to make another X-Men movie, but you're not getting another 3 billboards again. We're not making movies like that. I mean, they've had a couple. They had Poor Things. That was an Oscar movie.
Yeah.
But Yorgos is out on Fox. Right? Begonia was Focus, something like that.
Begonia, I believe so. Yeah, it was.
And yeah, I mean, like we said, whoever buys Warner Brothers, there's a little Batman ham in there, some Superman lettuce, as you can see. But where's my Sinners pickles? I asked for pickles. So it's scary time. We're gonna see what happens there. Is there anything else you wanted to be sad about today? I got some good news.
Yeah, give us some good news to end here.
We are back. We have some very, very cool stuff coming up. We're going to be back on the weekly basis. We promise. Going to be less a new movie every week. We have some fun ideas in between. The big stuff, Avatar, Wicked, FNAF, we'll cover here. But yeah, so movie industry may be cooked, but Sneaking in the Movies is back.
And in December, we got some big movies coming out. Our tone of voice might change a lot. By the end of December, it might be for the better. It might get much worse. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm optimistic about December. I think we're gonna get a lot of good movies and make a lot of money.
I'm feeling pretty good about next year too. I mean, I know it's kind of funny to say this at the end of just wallowing for the past hour here.
There's always still stuff to be excited
There's
about.
always hope.
Yeah. People are still making movies, and that's something to be excited about.
We just want to make movies, and they're making it really hard for us to make movies. We are going and have gone to school to make movies, and it's very scary when there are less movies being made and no one's seeing them.
Yeah.
So keep watching movies.
We should do a film school episode.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Maybe one day.
1 million likes, and we'll check it out.
Yeah, 1 million likes, we'll do the film school episode.
We talk about film school or teach?
Talk. But but I don't know. Maybe we
teach.
could do some kind of...
Professor Davis, Professor... Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. But...
Let us know if you want to learn how to make a movie.
Yes. Thank you for sneaking in with us. We'll see you next time.
See you next week.